Hello everyone and welcome to our coverage of the finals here in week 2 of phase 4. We have had a fantastic week of action through Group A on Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday. We had a bit of Group B action over the last couple of nights and indeed some Group C action on Thursday and Friday during the day. We now have a field of 6 players and tonight they will be split into 2 groups. They will play 2 group matches, and depending on their position after those group matches, it will stipulate who will be in our semi-finals tonight. Of course, the aim of getting through tonight, to get through to Champions Week, which starts on September 13th, is indeed to be at the top 3. So if you make tonight's final, you are safe for Champions Week, and there will be a 3rd place playoff for positions 3 and 4 before the final takes place at around about 1 o'clock in the morning, about 3 hours from now. So we hope you can join us for the entirety of our coverage. First and foremost, let's see what happened in Group A. Let's see who did well in that group to book their place in Saturday night. And that was Jared Cole, of course. 3 days of action, 5 games per day, and 24 points, which totaled 12 wins. And, of course, 3 defeats for Jared Cole. And the number 1 position automatically promoted into Saturday night. So the likes of Mike Warburton and Richie Burnett went to Group B. Scott Marsh, Darren Beveridge and Nathan Gervin, who won the individual table on Wednesday, they went into Group C. But let's have a look and see what happened over the last couple of nights, because Group B had some definitive highlights, didn't it? We didn't just get a 9-darter from Richie Burnett last night, which really did challenge everybody's voice boxes at the end, and of course challenged us visually with some of his celebrations last night, did the Prince of Wales. But Group B really was a fantastic show of talent. Won by Justin Smith, but unfortunately Justin Smith had to pull out first thing this morning, so the champion from Group B is not going to be with us, which is a bit of a shame. As a result of that, Scott Williams has been promoted into the finals by virtue of his 4th place finish. But the 2 combatants from Group A who went into Group B, Warburton and Burnett, they have made it through. So only Paul Hogan has lost out. As far as Group C is concerned, that was a 6-person group and 2 people were able to be promoted from that. And the likes of Beveridge, Marsh and Nathan Gervin, who came from Group A into this group, they failed. And in the case of Nathan Gervin, and indeed one of the PDC stalwarts of the last 15 years, Wes Newton, it didn't pan out for them. So it's Connor Scutt who got through on leg difference, with the number 1 person, Lee Cox, chiefing this one. A really good display from Lee Cox, as we welcome our viewers from Sporty Stuff TV for Saturday night. Welcome everyone in the UK on Sporty Stuff TV, and indeed everybody else around the world via the Online Darts YouTube channel. Let's have a little look at the fixtures for tonight to give you an indication of what we're going to see. These are the 2 groups that will be going to the Oki in due course. We're going to start very shortly with Jared Cole and Mike Warburton. We'll follow that with Scott Williams against Lee Cox. And of course, it will be 2 matches per player per group. We could have the situation where points are equal and a leg difference will come into play. So if you get yourself a nice big victory in your first match, it will definitely do you some good to try and get into the semi-finals. Not long now as we go down to Tour de Oki. So let's get a little look at who's coming up in match number 1 before we start our finals night here. It's going to be good. Don't go anywhere. Paul the Asset Nicholson right here. I'll be here all night. Will you? Let's see what's coming up in match 1. Let's get underway then. It is going to be Mike Warburton of Wales and the winner of Group A, which indeed was Jared Cole from Hertfordshire in the southeast of England. He is only a young whippersnapper, but he has got an old head on young shoulders. Best of 7 legs all night, so let's get cracking. Mike Warburton is playing his 6th consecutive day. He played Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday in Group A, and then in Group B, by virtue of not winning Group A, but the man smiling in the exclusion zone there in yellow is the man in the black shirt, Jared Cole. He's had a couple of days off, and he has made the trip back to the Online Darts Live League studio to try and find his way through to Champions Week. If you can make it to Champions Week and then get to the finals night, of course, that week, at the end of the rainbow, there is £7,000. And this, of course, is Phase 4. But when looking at Phase 2 and 3, neither Champions Week has graced this guy, Mike Warburton from Wales.
Okay, first leg it's Jared to throw first. Game on.
The other person in this group is Connor Scutt, the young man from Surrey.
57.
It's really important to get a decent start in what is a very, very cutthroat scenario in this group format for the finals in week 2.
125.
You may only play 2 matches tonight and then be eliminated. But you will hope that you're playing
57.
double that amount. And if you are playing 4 matches tonight, you've got a very good chance of coming back on September 13th.
60.
So much in the way of darts coming up with the Online Darts Live League over the next few weeks. We've already had our
58.
little pre-final show on YouTube earlier on, talking about who's going to be playing next week in week 3. We'll touch on that a little bit more in the next leg. But these players will be really craving a hot start.
134.
It's a different format tonight to what they've seen all week long.
140.
But Jared Cole this week, 15 games played, 12 wins, 3 defeats, for a win percentage of 80%. Of all of the players playing tonight, that is the most impressive win percentage. As far as Warburton is concerned, he's played a lot more matches.
96.
He's played 23.
You require 82.
With 13 wins for a win percentage of 56.52. Double top.
Game
and he finds a beautiful double top to seal that first leg. Over the course of this week, I haven't really seen a hot start from Mike Warburton. He might be saving his bets till last.
Second leg, it's Mike to throw first. Game on.
He has had some highlights this week. A 161 checkout being probably the biggest one.
58.
Best average, though, of 94.03. We know that Mike Warburton can play at a much higher level than that. Throughout 2021, he has had better averages than that. And indeed, his personal best for the year is 111.33, which in this field
140.
is the most impressive PB of the year. Better from Cole,
180.
who has lost his throw in the very first leg of the night, but is mounting a charge to get it back pronto.
60.
Jared Cole's best average of the week, 97.67. A running average of 89.53, which is the best running average of any player
57.
in this finals. But he does have the smallest personal best finish of the week of 118. There have been some big checkouts from
41.
some of these players this week.
Charge require 164.
Another of those would have left 50.
124.
But that is a really nice layup from JC. The qualified chef, who was telling me a little bit earlier this evening that he has been working a lot lately
94.
in an industry that has really been struggling for
40.
staff.
Game
He's
shot
not
on the
struggling
second
for
leg.
legs because he gets the
Jared
break back
Cole.
immediately in this best of 7 contest. And just when somebody does get that jump on you, you've got to claw them back really quickly like he has.
So like it's Jared to throw first. Game on.
Such a good young talent
140.
from a county that has an immense pedigree of amazing players. You talk about Hertfordshire, and you have to think of the West brothers, Tony and Steve.
43.
Tony being a former world master, Steve West, who is still a PDC tour card holder.
41.
And of course, you can't mention Hertfordshire without talking about the great Dennis Ovens. The man with probably the driest sense of humour in the
100.
history of the game. And some of the most forgettable shirts. But the king of the castle, as JC is known by,
30.
will hope to be the king of the hockey tonight. And that is something that you may want to have a little flutter on in these games. King of the hockey being the winner of the match, the most 180s, and the biggest finish. If you are choosing
44.
to have a little flutter on something tonight, please do so if you're over the age of 18 only. Please gamble responsibly, and
78.
begambleaware.org for more information. A big welcome to all of our viewers on Sporty Stuff TV this evening. We really do value your company. You do have a choice of your
100.
viewing on a Saturday night, and we're glad to have you along with us for the ride. 10 matches in total,
60.
and that 10th match will be to see who was the king of the week. This one's just slowed down a little bit after a hot start.
98.
And the averages have come
Jared
down
require
into the
152.
mid-80s now. Another for double 16.
104.
That'll do as long as he's given
Mike
another
require
visit.
116.
Perfect first start. Really perfect second.
96.
But he can't find the full stop on
Jared
that leg.
require 48.
And Cole is lucky to get visit 7,
Game shot
which
on
is
the
something
third
he
leg.
uses very, very well
Jared
indeed.
Cole.
You don't often get 20 darters at this level on Saturday nights because every single player will be fully warmed up.
Four-legged
But
to
Cole
Mike to
is
throw
2-1 in front
first.
now
Game on.
after being 1-0 down. And the encouraging thing for him is that he hasn't missed a double yet.
100.
These two have played each other 3 times this week, all in Group A, of course.
140.
And it is 2-1 to Jared Cole. He beat Mike on Monday by 4 legs to 1. On Tuesday by 4 legs to 3.
60.
But it was Warburton who got a little bit of revenge on Wednesday by winning by 4 legs to 2. Of course, everybody lost to Jared Cole on Monday and Tuesday. 20 unanswered points on Monday and Tuesday. And he was pretty much assured of being the winner of that group
96.
by about 10:30 in the morning on Wednesday. As soon as he got his 11th win of the week, it was safe.
55.
First start for Warburton tonight has been very good.
140.
He's first to the finish, but only 100 ahead. Hoping for mistakes from Cole that don't come.
Mike, you require 100.
This is a dicey position. Last time he was on a shot like this, he missed the tops. It is the same bed.
65.
And we get confirmation from the referee,
Jared,
Owen Binks,
72.
that is not in. Will this be in?
Game show on the
magnificent from Jared
Cole.
Cole. What a shot that is. A really good, safe couple of singles for a clean tops to keep his 100% record on the doubles going.
Jared to throw
and it's given him a 3-1 lead. And uses it perfectly as a catalyst to max at the start of leg 5. Warburton in early trouble.
60.
We concentrate on Group 1 here, and then we will look to Group 2 next.
140.
But Jared Cole was 5 deep there into that perfect leg. You can see at the back of the room that he's already forgotten about the possibility of the 9 darter. All he wants is the win.
100.
What a leg of darts this is from Jared Cole.
140.
He has blitzed Mike Warburton ever since he lost the first leg. And that miss for the 116 from Mike to be 2-2. In fact, it was the 105, and he missed the 116. Those 2 misses at double are the only mistakes he's made in this match. And the match has ended with a 12 darter from Jared Cole. Superb early performance from him, and he shocks Mike Warburton early in Saturday's finals. That last dart was thrown from the left-hand side of the oche because he blocked the bed. But what a sensational performance to start his finals off. 96.48 is the average. Warburton at 85 was probably not going to beat Jared in this form with that kind of statistic, but 80% on the doubles. There is your difference maker right there. We're going to concentrate on Group 2 next. It is going to be Scott Williams, who is very lucky to be here, against Lee Cox, the winner of Group C. That's coming up after the break. Hello and welcome back to our coverage of the finals in week 2 of Phase 4 here at the Online Darts Live League. Time to focus on Group 2, as Scott Williams will now take on the winner of Group C this week, Lee Cox. Scott Williams was scheduled after last night's coverage to be going all the way up to the northeast of England to play in another tournament. He didn't qualify for the finals, but after the withdrawal of Justin Smith, after he won the group, he had to go back to Cardigan in Wales for personal reasons. Scott Williams said, I'll stick around.
Okay, first leg.
I'll take this opportunity. And it means
Game on.
that the 2 times he has played here, he has subsequently played in the finals that week.
91.
Now, the last time he was in the finals, he didn't get to the semis. His first challenge
140
is the person who won Group C, a 6-player group where he was at the top on points. Arguably Lee Cox's
41.
best effort so far in his live league career. 10 games he played this week, 7 wins,
96.
3 defeats for a win percentage of 70%. Add to that a very impressive doubles percentage for the week of 40%.
39.
Not quite as good as Jared Cole's 41.86%, but when you're hitting 4 out of 10 doubles, that is
101.
over a long format, an elite level. His best average of the week of 92.49 came in his very first match against Wes Newton,
140.
where he won by
They
4 legs to 0.
164.
60 option for the 164.
98.
Well,
Scott, you
the start of
require
the
90.
treble 20 was a bit befuddling. He should have gone for the treble 18. Scott Williams has got double 10.
70.
Misses out on a
They
chance to
require
hold.
66.
He might still get another chance, but it depends on what Lee does here with 66. There is
Game shot on the
66
first
in
leg.
2 from Lee Cox, who will be brimming with confidence considering what he's done this week already. He was not pleased with how he played yesterday, but he should be pleased with that first leg.
Second leg, it's Lee to throw first. Game on.
The exact amount of darts that Lee threw in that leg
55.
totals a subsequent average of 107.36, which is exactly the record average for this phase by James Richardson.
66.
So if he can keep that going and maybe chuck in a 13 darter instead of a 14 at some stage,
66.
he might indeed break the phase 4 record. Someone's going to have to go some if they're going to break the live league average record set by Jason
140.
Askew back in March, though. That being 118.44.
140.
You look at Scott Williams' stats, and Thursday didn't make for good reading. He didn't win a match at all.
56.
But yesterday was much better. He picked up 3 wins, and he took Richie Burnett all the way to qualification. And Richie Burnett came out on
100.
top, but Scott's still here, and he still has a chance of making Champions Week. Stats are pretty misleading,
94.
actually, for
They
Scott's
require
week.
140.
He has had some highlights, though. Very, very safe and confident
Scott, you
single there from
require
Coxie, because we
145.
have seen 140 bust this week by Richie Burnett. Treble 15 leaves tops.
125.
And that wouldn't have been his
Lee
biggest
required
finish of the week,
40.
because he has got a 170 in the bank.
Game shot on the second leg.
Lee Cox wins
Lee
leg 2,
Cox.
and he backs up the 14 dart start with a 17 darter, and he's looking very assured at this early stage. He gave an interview to one of our production staff a little bit earlier, and he was talking up his chances. He felt good coming into this. And he's getting a very similar beginning to proceedings like another group winner this week, Jared Cole.
140.
Jared Cole will be back in match 3 to play Connor Scutt, the live league debutant from this week.
180.
We've had to wait till leg 3 of this match to get our first maximum. And that comes from the man from Boston in Lincolnshire, who
42.
had a bit of a giggle with me earlier because last night on the coverage I said, if you're from Boston and you like to show your socks with slightly shorter trousers, those socks have got to be red. Because they're white.
81.
I said he might be a Chicago White Sox fan, but being from Boston, surely they've got to be red.
97.
Scott is in charge of leg 3, that's for sure. 3 single 20s to leave himself sitting on tops.
60.
Secure stuff. His average climbs to a very impressive 104.85. The worrying thing is
125.
that if he misses 3 darts here, Lee Cox could steal another leg away from him. No such drama, though, as he finds his best leg of the night. Indeed, of course it's his best leg of the night, because it's his first leg win right there. What am I thinking about? It is 2-1 Lee Cox. Let's get into leg 4 then.
Game on.
Big shout out to our
57.
referee in this match, Owen Binks. And once tonight is completed, he will have refereed 105 games this week. A top effort.
131.
That's the compliment I'm going to give him. But we had a little bit of a backroom chat, some of us a little bit earlier, and controversially,
87.
Owen Binks said that Coldplay were more influential than Oasis. And we all looked at him in horror. So Owen is on social media. Please feel free
60.
to voice your opinion at him if you agree with us on the Oasis thing. I did say I was going to sell him out, and I just have. But he has done a fabulous job this week.
83.
Refereeing 105 games is not easy.
$60.
When you get a 2-0 lead, like Lee got, it's really important to make sure that you maintain
57.
that advantage. Don't let Scott get 2 after you get 2. Great switch, and he's used that treble 18 with such good effect over the last couple of nights. It is part of his game, and he does like to use the treble 18 to start certain finishes, even when he's not on something like 122, which requires it. 68 remain. Bullseye. Very good indeed. Scott Williams does exactly what Lee Cox did not want him to do, which is take care of business in legs 3 and 4. Just when you think the man from Crawley, called Coxie,
Game on.
He's going to canter towards a big victory, Scott Williams has other plans.
100.
Overall this year, Lee Cox has played 55 games
100.
with 31 wins and 24 defeats for a win percentage of just over 56%. That is very respectable.
41.
His checkout stats are just the tiniest bit under 36%. And based on comparing that with other players, that's very good.
57.
He, like Scott Williams, has hit a 170 checkout this year. But Williams has a running average in all of his
59.
matches on this hockey, which is just under 3 points more. So does that tell us that Williams has got a better gear than Lee Cox?
180.
That 180 refutes that, because that equalises the 180 count between these two players in this match.
45. Lee require 164.
Not what he wanted.
50.
And indeed, only getting 50 will just ensure that Coxey comes back to the hockey for something that he didn't really expect to.
100.
He's now got
Lee
company
require 114.
in the finishing zone. Treble 18 leaves tops. Double top.
74.
That was very, very close.
Scutt, you require 156.
This would hurt. But he went for the barrel,
100.
and it couldn't nestle underneath.
Lee require 40.
Got to find tens. Oh, he's got every right to puff his cheeks out of that one, because that was getting really, really nervy in the end. Look at this. That was a pure dart at double 10. No assist from the other dart whatsoever. And Lee Cox, with that break of throw, now has the chance to win this one by 4 legs to 2. If indeed he can't, he still has a chance to break the throw again in leg 7. He's now the favourite, especially after starting this leg with 2 treble 20s and Scutt not getting any. Quizzically, Williams is averaging 95 here.
60.
Lee Cox only 88. Just more proof that averages don't really matter. They're just a guide.
45.
More of that, please, he says.
125.
Look on the bright side, Lee. You're not happy with that visit because of the last dart. You've got a very big advantage.
121.
It's a little bit smaller now. It's still 99 ahead. No dramas.
140.
Because he's back for double 18. And for the first time tonight, we see a confident face from the man who used to captain London
81.
and now lives in West Sussex.
Lee required 36.
Double 18 for the match.
No score.
Well, that was a really funny last dart. I'm not really sure what happened to that one. He has the luxury of another visit, but he has a little bit of scar tissue on that 36 bed from a few seconds ago.
36.
Can he do it this time? There's your answer. Lee Cox finishes this match with a 16 dart hold of throw, and the person who won Group C, who was very much fancied to have a very good evening, gets it done there by 4 legs to 2. A strong start. He might take some catching, but his average, according to Scott Williams's as well, the gap was closed up there a little bit, but the vital thing is that he got more doubles than Scott. He did a very good job, and he might indeed be hard to catch with the confidence he's exuding. We're going to see a bit more from Group 1 when we come back after the break. It's going to be Connor Scutt for the first time tonight against Jared Cole, who already has a win. So stick with us. We'll be right back. Hello darts fans, and welcome back to our coverage of the finals here in week 2 of phase 4. We are about to get our third match of the evening and our first look at Connor Scutt, who comes from Surrey. So let's see him up against Jared Cole from the other side of the M25 Ring Road in London. Two young players, 21-year-old and a 25-year-old. So Connor Scutt, it is his first week here at the Online Darts Live League. Made his debut on Thursday. Had a very good showing. Jared Cole, even though 4 years his junior, a lot more experienced here indeed. Has been playing here most of the year.
Okay, first leg, it's Connor to throw first. Game on.
But Connor Scutt, who has the darts here, by virtue of being on the left of the draw, had a very, very solid Group C in finishing in second spot behind Lee Cox. A running average of 84 exactly.
59.
Best average of 93.99. 8 maximums. 2 ton plus checkouts. I should emphasize that one of those was 170 checkout. He might be up against it here.
140.
And with all due respect to all of the players that he faced in Group C, he probably didn't face anybody with the confidence levels of Jared Cole.
100.
People eliminated from Group C at the expense of Connor and Lee Cox. Nathan Girvan of Scotland, who had a very decent week, but just came up short.
132.
Wes Newton, who just came up short in eliminating Connor from this finals night by 2 darts.
56.
2
Jared
darts from 2 different legs.
170.
But that's perfect. So is that. Bullseye.
139.
I make that the third attempt this week at a 170 for Jared, and every time he's missed the bullseye. Connor's going for something just underneath it. Bullseye for him.
119.
And they both missed the epicenter of the board.
31.
Double 8. He has been a double 8 ninja this week. The amount of times he has found himself in that corner of the board and been able to take it first dart most of the time is quite unfathomable.
59.
Long story short, if Jared Cole wins this match, he is in the semi-finals, and then Connor Scutt and Mike Warburton will shoot off in match number 5, and the winner goes through. Very, very simple. We don't need to look at leg difference. We don't need to look at legs won, or indeed the 2 players' averages. It would just be about points.
46.
And Jared showing very early promise in this one. But other players to lose out in Group C at the expense of Connor Scutt. I mentioned Nathan Girvan and Wes Newton. Scott Marsh and Darren Beveridge.
45.
2 very experienced players. They made their way home today as well.
99.
And Connor was full of beans as he came into the building this evening. I'm sure loving life here. He doesn't know what it's 59. Like to fail here at the Online Darts Live League so far. And he won't expect to fail tonight. Lots of darts coming up for everybody
49.
At the top of the game, and indeed at the secondary level in the coming weeks. There is challenge tour action with the Professional Darts Corporation coming up next week. And these 2 will be going there. But they have a job to do first. Another crack at a 167. And another crack at the bull.
120.
He's getting closer.
Average require 116.
57 required. And it wasn't really close
56.
in leaving a shot at
Connie
tops there.
47.
Double 16 will ensure leg 2. Or another double 8.
39.
Well, double 8 is coming to
Jared,
the
you require
aid
60.
of Jared Cole when he needs it. And of course, when his opponent is missing it. Double 10.
50.
Big chance missed by Jared to
Connor, you
consolidate that
require
early
8.
break of throw. What a deflection that was. That would have made an interesting slow motion replay. Oh
No
boy.
score.
How did that not go in?
Jared, you required 10.
3, massaging the wire. Jared Cole, which rabbit's foot have you been rubbing tonight?
Game
He
shown
does
the
find
second
double 5
leg.
with the last dart as
Jared
well.
Cole.
Didn't expect Jared Cole to be winning legs in 24 darts this evening, but he opens up the same sort of gap that we saw Lee Cox do in match number 2.
Feel like it's Connor to throw first. Game on. $60.
Everything that Jared Cole touches this week turns to gold.
97.
Very easy for someone who wins Group A on Wednesday to switch off for the next 2 days, and indeed a little bit on Saturday, and think that they're going to canter
45.
to Champions Week by getting in the top 3 tonight. Jared's not made that way. He's only 21.
140.
But he doesn't act like most 21-year-olds. He is immensely mature.
100.
I've known this young lad for about 3.5 years. Gotten to know him quite well, and he is lovely company. He's got time for everyone.
140.
And with his nice demeanour, he's able to just play the game without any anger.
43. Jared, you require 124.
It's silky smooth, this action, and it's incredibly dependable.
84.
And that last dart ensures 3 darts at tops for a 3-0 lead. And he'll be very, very close to the semi-finals already.
60. Jared, you require 40.
Tops hit
Game shot on the
just
third
like
leg.
that. A very
Jared
different
Cole.
leg to what we saw in the previous one. He goes from a 24 darter to almost half of that. That was
Fourth leg is
13
Jared to
darts.
throw first. Game on.
Making for an average over the first 3 legs of 88.41, meaning that he's delivered 51 darts
60.
for the first 3 legs. So he's almost home and hosed. And if he does get this done,
60.
whether it's 4-0 or something else, he will have to wait for 3 matches to be completed before he takes his turn in the semis, because
60.
the winner of Group 1 will play the runner-up of Group 2. And that's not until match 7.
180.
This being match 3, and Connor with that 180, the first of the match for him. And that was the second for Jared.
180.
No matter what Connor does, it seems like Jared's got the answer.
47.
Great player he is. I said he's mature,
86.
but he's done a lot of growing up in the last 18 months, playing live league darts. He's even said to me
42.
that he feels as
Jared,
happy
you
now
require
as he ever has done.
115.
Single 18 and double top.
75.
And he will be back for 3 darts at tops, very much like leg 3. He can then practice at will to get ready for the
59.
semis
Jared,
if he
you
finds one
require
more double.
40.
Double 10 now.
30.
That wasn't part of the plan.
Connor, you require 113.
People have won from this position, so Connor's got to believe that he can hit treble 18 and double top.
73.
Can't say he hasn't had chances.
Jared, you required 10.
He's missed 8 darts at double in the match.
No score.
And he's still in it.
Connor, you require 40.
Well, well, well. Double top. Double 10 now.
20.
He's had plenty of shots at double.
Jared, you required 10.
And this scoreline is the tiniest bit unfair on Connor Scutt. But it is 4-0 to Jared Cole, who only loses 1 leg in Group 1. He is the first person into our semi-finals for Week 2 on Saturday night. He did fiddle around with some of those doubles, and it did take him a while to get over the line, hence why his average came floating all the way down to 82 in the end. But it's good enough to get the job done, and he will play in Match 7 as the winner of Group 1. As far as Group 2 is concerned, we are going to see Richie Burnett for the very first time tonight. This will be full of highlights. I'm sure it will be very, very watchable as he takes on Scott Williams. That's coming up next after the break. Hello and welcome back. It's time for some more Group 2 action as we will see Scott Williams play his second match of the night. And he's up against the man who hit a 9-darter last night in Group B. It's Richie Burnett again. It's another day. It's another dose of the legend from the valleys. And let's face it, this is why you've tuned in tonight, isn't it? You want to watch Richie Burnett. That's no disrespect to this man from Boston who was only just starting his career at the age of 31. He's had a little bit of experience.
Okay, first leg, it's Richie to
every
throw
likelihood
first.
of
Game
kicking on from here. But can he stop Richie Burnett on a Saturday night on this hockey, which he seems to make his own?
60.
Some people have a very good record in what they do when they come here. Richie Burnett hasn't failed to make the weekly finals in Phase 2 and Phase 3. And in Phase 4, he's done it again. Phase 2, he won the lot.
95.
He won the finals in Champions Week for £6,000. He would dearly love another crack
98.
from September 13th. They have had a couple of matches over the last couple of nights.
140.
And the spoils have been shared in 2 7-leg games. First it was Burnett who won on Thursday. And then Williams got his revenge yesterday. And it was these two that were jousting for that final qualification spot before the withdrawal of Justin Smith from their group, which means that they both got through.
58.
That perfect leg that he had yesterday, Richie Burnett, came against
60.
Scott Williams. It came in leg 6.
Richie, you require.
So what did Williams do in the leg after? He won leg 7 and took the match. So far, Burnett's first start is a bit low.
100.
But he's well positioned
Scott,
after 5 visits.
144.
18's option, of course, for Scott Williams, who will use that segment on the board
120.
if indeed he can.
Richie required 48.
Done a superb job there of leaving double 12. Double 16 for Burnett.
Game shot on the
Very
first
good
leg.
indeed. He went down the straight line from that single to the lower portion of that double 16 to take that first leg. Saturday night, Richie Burnett here means success usually.
Game on. 60.
Let's dig a little deeper into what Richie Burnett has done this week then. He's played the same amount of matches as
43.
Mike Warburton coming into tonight, 23. He won 10 with 13 losses for a win percentage of 43.48. 32% of his doubles.
131.
High checkout of 143. And a running average of 85.27. It hasn't been his most vintage week, but there have been some really good highlights in there. Of course, the 9-darter will top the tree, but he has got the second best individual game performance of the week with an average of 101.90. And that is indeed only 300ths behind the best performance, which came from Justin Smith.
180.
If you get the chance to look at the Scott Williams throw just here, it's very quick, so you have to be really focused. It's really smooth, but Burnett seems to be ruffled by something. 6 darts delivered and only leaves 417. So if he is distracted by something here, just needs to get a hold of himself. This is really interesting. Just showing how creative Scott Williams is. Didn't need to go 60-20 ball or something like that. He went for 2 treble 19s and double 8. You just sense that this game's going to be 4-3. And we haven't had a 4-3 yet tonight. I've got another double 16 coming in though.
On the second leg.
And you can see the puncture wound that Richie Burnett left in that double 16. And the shot from Scott Williams there was about 3 millimeters away from that shot. Really good 43 out there.
Third leg, it's Richie to throw first. Game on.
We're looking to complete the set of all possible results in the first 4 matches. We've had a 4-0, we've had a 4-1,
60,
and a 4-2. So if they follow the pattern of the last couple of nights, we will get 4 different results
57
in the first 4 matches. Just to give you an indication of what's happening in Group 1, Jared Cole has already qualified for the semi-finals by winning his first 2 games. The match between Connor Scutt and Mike Warburton, which follows this, is a direct shootout. So leg difference does not come into it. It's just a case of whoever wins it is through. Person who loses it will not play again tonight. Richie is hoping that he's not in that position.
140.
He wants to be in the semi-finals. If indeed Richie Burnett or Scott Williams finish second in their group behind Lee Cox, they will play Jared Cole in their semi-final.
140.
This one seems to be going with the throw.
100.
And Burnett is in charge of leg 3.
61.
The only way he loses this leg is if he messes up on doubles. It's a great single.
41.
The other option, of course, is if Scott Williams finds a 147. That possibility's gone.
97.
But he still has the possibility of winning this leg if Richie does make more mistakes. Those mistakes do not come.
Richie
started with a 17 darter, and then he lost leg 2, comes back with his throw in leg 3, and gets a 16 darter. So gradual improvement. He takes the lead once again.
Game on.
91.07 the average for Burnett. 67% on the doubles. Plenty to smile about so far. Indeed, he is the only person in these finals who has registered a ton-plus average this week. The only other person to do so was Justin Smith, who won Group B, but can't be here.
140.
He looks remarkably calm, does Richie Burnett so far this evening.
But
it's early.
180.
There's plenty of time to go, and Scott Williams has got to stay in that treble 20 just like that. But after 6 darts thrown by the Welshman, Williams has lost his throw, and Burnett is starting to find accuracy on that 60. Superb to leave 76. If Williams loses this match, he's out.
Richie requires 76.
60 for double 8. Got to be treble 13 now, and he gets treble 6.
53 left.
So he's got 53 left.
36.
He does leave tops.
Scott, you require 120.
In a best of 7 match, which is a short format. These are must hits. That is must hit, and it is mustard from the man in yellow. A great check out of 120 to really save his bacon in this one, because Richie Burnett was poised on double top for a 3-1 lead.
Game on.
Apologies for that mustard pun. That was very Chris Murphy.
100.
You'll know Chris Murphy if you are a regular viewer on Sporty Stuff TV. To our finals on Saturday night. Chris doing a lot of great commentary work for us during July and August. Chris will return in a couple of weeks. But next week, when we are back, you'll have Chris Mason.
46.
And Chris Mason will be sheriffing a very interesting bunch of players. I can now confirm that Group A on Monday morning will involve these players. Conor Hennigan of Ireland. Gary Stone, the modern amateur darts Scottish champion. Jamie Caven, a winner of 7 PDC ranking tournaments. The legend that is Martin Adams is back. And 2 modern amateur darts qualifiers.
23.
Bourne, I think that's the right way to say his name. And Martin Hennigan, the brother of Conor. They'll both be in the same group. Group C, which will be a 6-player group on Thursday and Friday. We'll have the bottom 3 players from Group A. And indeed, it will have Daryl Fitton, Johnny Haynes, and Sean Griffiths of Manchester.
93.
Group B, which is where these two were playing the last couple of nights on Sporty Stuff TV live. You will have the pleasure of the company of Gary Robson, one of the most experienced BDO players in history, against the 2001 world champion John Walton, nicknamed John Boy, of course. And last but not least, Tony
Richie
O'Shea.
100.
Double top for a 3-2 lead.
80.
He'd only missed 1 darted double until that point.
112.
54 needed. 54 not hit. So Burnett
78.
needs double 10
Richie
for a 5th consecutive hold in this match. And that is what we get.
On the 5th leg. Richie Burnett.
Mentioned something about that double 16 hit in leg 2 for Scott Williams being very close to a previous hit from Burnett. I think he's just hit his own hole in that double 10 that he hit earlier.
6th leg, it's Scott to throw first. Game on.
Just remarkable accuracy on that double 10. This one looks like it is going all the way. Unless Burnett really does put his foot down here in leg 6. He's hit more 180s this week than anyone.
140.
An extraordinary effort. He
97.
stays with Williams for now.
$60.
Just totting up how many 180s he's hit this week, Richie Burnett. I make it 43.
140.
So many more than anybody else. And he needed one right there to get himself in touching distance of Scott Williams' position.
Scott, you require
when he's
84.
had his back against the wall in this match, constantly chasing Burnett, he's come up very good indeed. 19 tops. I like this play.
64.
But he won't like that dart. He won't mind as long as he gets it the next time. And that is his first miss at a double in this match. What has been a very, very good finishing performance from both players. Double 10 is Scott Williams double this time. It is 3-3, and for the third consecutive evening, these two are dueling in a 7th leg decider to see who wins this first group game for Richie Burnett.
7th and final leg, it's Richie to throw first. Game on.
Is this going to be the last leg of Scott Williams' week? Because if Burnett holds again for a 4th time,
100.
Scott Williams is done. And the last group game that we will see tonight between Cox and Burnett will be a decider to see who finishes first and second. Scott Williams will watch on and will be powerless. If indeed Williams does win, we'll have to go to the last group game to see who qualifies in the top 2 spots. And if indeed Burnett does get a win against Lee Cox after being defeated by Scott Williams, it's time to get the abacus out. He's coming up dry. No trebles. And Williams has got the darts for the first time on the Burnett throw in the entire match.
59.
Can't use them. Burnett gets a reprieve. Oh, how much he wants another maximum here. He's been outgunned in the maximums in this game
43.
by 2-1, and he's not able to get close. In fact, his deficit has widened. And that's really bad news if you are a Burnett fan. Let me remind you that Lee Cox beat Scott Williams by 4 legs to 2.
98. Scott,
Go through the permutations
56.
if and when needed. But Scott Williams has a shot at tops to win.
16.
2 match darts
Richie
missed.
require 140.
Can he do this? He can't now. Be careful.
100.
Earlier in the week, he bust that shot by hitting the 60 on dart 3. Scott Williams is back at double 10.
Game
And he's
shot
in
and the
a double
match.
10 for a 17 dart break of throw. He breaks the hearts of the Richie Burnett fans, but it's not over yet. We are going to go to the wire in the group. 94.42 is a very impressive performance for Scott Williams. That, for me, is one of his best performances of the week so far. But Burnett, 50% on doubles, wasn't enough. He didn't get enough shots in the end as he relinquishes his throw in leg 7. We are going to get another Group 1 match now between Mike Warburton and Connor Scutt. It is very, very simple. Whoever wins the match is through. We'll find out who that is after this. Hello everyone and welcome back to our coverage of the Online Darts Live League for Saturday evening. We are going to go through to the early hours of Sunday. We hope you can stay with us. But this next match, it's very, very simple. Whoever loses it is gone. Connor Scutt and Mike Warburton are about to do battle in a best-of-7 match. Of course, with Jared Cole winning his first 2 matches of the group, it ensures that both of these combatants, on 0 points coming into this last group game, just need a win. It doesn't matter about the margin. And even though Connor Scutt lost by 4-0 to Jared, and Mike got 1 extra leg than him,
Okay,
that
first leg
means
it's
nothing
Mike
now,
to throw first.
as this is
Game on.
a shootout at the ODLL. That was a bit of a play on the shootout at the OK Corral, but I didn't think that one through. The next game's going to be a bit more interesting when it comes to leg difference.
57.
All 3 players can still progress based on the final result in the final group game. But this is best of 7 to see who goes through in
80.
second position in Group 1. And whoever does win this will play the winner of Group 2 in the second semi-final.
60.
I can tell by the face of Mike Warburton right now just how much he wants this.
100.
Just looking back at some of his previous efforts when it comes to finals, of which there haven't been many.
93.
Indeed, since we started putting up that big prize fund in Phase 2, he's only reached the finals once. That was in
60.
week 3 of Phase 2, which was won that week by Conan Whitehead. The eventual champion of that entire phase was Richie Burnett.
125.
But Mike did not make the semi-finals that night. He wants a very different story this evening. Like I've mentioned, this is Connor Scutt's debut, so not a bad debut it is as well for the 25-year-old.
60.
He will not have been pleased with his
Mike
first performance.
80.
Only averaging 72. But Warburton's got experience in most facets of this league.
Game
And that is a very efficient 80 checker
Mike
from
Warburton.
him. An early statement from the man from Wrexham. Small 20, big 20, and in for tops.
Second leg,
Double
it's Connor
tops
to
don't
throw
come
first.
much better than that.
Game on.
This is, of course, Connor Scutt's debut in an evening session.
100.
Because playing in Group C, that starts at 9:30 AM, is usually done by about 2 in the afternoon. So playing in the evening, you might
60.
think it's just a different time. You'd prepare somewhat similarly, maybe 1.5 to 2 hours before.
93.
But it will feel different for him. Mike's played a lot of evening darts here. Looking extremely
60.
coordinated tonight in green. I was having a little giggle with him earlier in the week about the new dart shirts when I said that they looked like they needed colouring in.
100.
I said it was just a pun because I really do like this shirt. I like it more than the previous one, which looked a bit like a Mike Warburton word search.
100.
Played a lot of live league in 2020 from his own home in North Wales with success. And his story in 2021 is not written yet.
140. Connie
He
require
might be a bit of a dark horse. Not just for tonight, but for the whole title in Phase 4.
50.
Which will be finalised on September 18th.
141.
Put that in your diary.
$59. Connie require
59
58.
scored by Warby and 1 point less needed from Connor to take leg 2.
48.
That could be costly
Mike require 82.
for the young man called Sniper. 25 and Bulls surely now. Oh, he's got it the wrong way around.
69.
That frustrates every dart player when they go for a 25 and hit 50.
10.
All you got to do is laugh it off and move
Liam
on,
John
because
the
now the leg
second
is
leg.
over. And Connor
Scutt.
Scutt gets his first leg of the night. He has that settler now. I say this every time someone gets a somewhat late first leg, but that really will settle him down.
So like it's Mike to throw first. Game on.
Failing to get any successful doubles from 11 attempts in his first match
96.
would have scarred him a little bit. But now that he's found one, maybe he can find a bit of fluency. I've just received
65.
information about all of the permutations for the next match. So a big shout out to a great member of our production team, Mark Walker, who does all of the statistical analysis and indeed all of the work on the permutations for the group phases and things like that. Does an amazing
100.
job. So we will go through all of those permutations for the next match in due course. Indeed, we have had a new member of our
41.
staff this week in the shape of G.G. Mathers, the Australian tour card holder. He's been fabulous company as well,
47.
and a source of real smiles in a very difficult week where we lost our friend Kyle Anderson at the age of 33.
43.
If you're not aware of it already, there is a fundraising effort being done for Kyle Anderson's family on social media by his close friend from his childhood and, of course,
95.
top dart player Damon Hetta. Check out his social feeds for more information on that, because some of the things being auctioned for that beautiful cause to help Kyle's family are
93.
rather rare and incredible items. The Darts family has stood up this week, and when people always say
89.
stand up if you
Mike
love the
require
darts, this week
148.
people have been standing up for the Darts family. Who's going to stand up and be counted in this fifth match of the night?
60.
It seems
Connie
to be
require
getting away from Mike a little
105.
bit now, that treble 20. Bit of nerves from both players, as double 16
89.
has a
Mike
shadow
require
cast on it.
88.
Double 14.
Game shown the
Beautiful
third
checkout
leg.
from Mike Warburton.
Mike Warburton.
That really was a beautiful, beautiful thing, because it wasn't a great leg up to that point. When you're stuck on 88 after 18
Four-legged
darts,
Connor to throw
you need
first.
something like that.
Game on.
You have to say, a huge chance for Connor Scutt on the Warburton
45.
throw. If you're not breaking an 18, it may seem a bit callous for me to say this, but as a player myself, I can wear this badge.
83.
If you're not breaking an 18, it's your own fault. At this level, you should be able to do that more often than not. That's good.
180.
That is our first maximum of the match. And just when Connor needed something to put a bit of bounce in his step. And you see in the background
60.
him gritting his teeth, trying to dig deep. I like to see that in a player.
60.
A week ago, he was playing in a local tournament in Surrey that was littered with professional stars, all looking for a decent hit out before they went back to the tour next week. That tournament
100.
had the likes of Gigi Mathers. It had Simon Whitlock, the legendary Australian. The tournament was won by former world champion Rob Cross. Just clarification that if you do drop the dart on the floor, you can retrieve it and throw it for it to count.
80, yeah.
But if there is forward motion and you drop it going forwards, it will not count.
134. Connie require 116.
60 required. Would have left double 18.
100.
He sits on double
Mike
8.
require 124.
Can we get a 3-dart check out this time? Your answer is no.
56.
And Connor's got to do his job here.
Connie require 60.
He scored better than the previous leg.
Game
And he's done his
shown
job on
forfeit.
double 8 as well.
Connor Scutt.
This one locked at 2-all. We're down to a best of 3 scenario. What's going to happen in leg 5 on the Warburton throw?
Fifth leg, it's Mike to throw first. Game on.
I think a lot of us have had the opportunity to watch a lot of television and streamed action during the lockdowns of the last 18 months.
96.
But I don't think anybody has said Mike's surname better than George Clooney in a famous bread advert about 2 months ago when he called him Mr. Warburton.
96.
I'm not going to try and do George Clooney's accent. That would make me sound silly. I'm amazed he hasn't got a nickname that's something to do with bread.
81.
He just likes Warby. And let's face it, that's what we call him.
$140.
That was a maximum.
180.
Yep. Well done, Owen Binks. And well done, Connor Scutt, for spotting that. A second maximum of the match.
60.
Those points were so tightly knit together, they would have looked like one solitary point. And I mentioned Simon Whitlock
94.
at a tournament a week ago that Connor was at. The darts that Connor uses are actually Simon Whitlock branded darts.
100.
Mike
Connie
Warburton,
require
for the first time in this match,
131.
is in genuine trouble. He has a personal best finish
119.
this week of
Mike, you require
161.
164.
He needs to better that. And he needs it now. Such a good try. Treble 18 should be the target. 86 remain.
132.
He finds that 54 eventually.
Connie, you require 12.
But it might be too late as Connor Scutt constantly improves in this match. Double 3. Oh,
Nine.
what a chance missed.
Mike, you require 32.
And Mike is using up lives. That's too close. Now he doesn't worry about that dart. Oh, it's right in the corner. Oh, right in the corner. It was not a pure dart. It's the equivalent of someone going up to hit a penalty kick and shanking it, but it still goes in. 3-2 Warby.
Game on.
Don't talk to me about football today. Newcastle United scoring in the last minute and still getting a draw.
60.
I'll pull the bones out of that with my friends tomorrow. As for right now, Mike Warburton is trying to take advantage of that very fortuitous turn of events
91.
where Connor Scutt missed 3 clean darts for a 3-2 lead. He's pressing the acceleration
140.
and comes up with a lead of 49 after 6. Looking to break the throw of Scutt. But he's got other ideas.
140.
It's a very tight game. 82 average Warburton, 85 Scutt.
100.
The equivalent of 3 tons. Steady.
100.
Same goes for Connor, who gets to the finish first. We've only had one 4-3 match tonight. It was in the previous game between Williams and Burnett.
68.
And Warburton leaves a very, very funky number to finish. That's a difficult one. He's not
78.
a new school thinker when it comes to these finishes. But
133.
133 really should be treble 19 first. I don't have enough time to explain why.
97.
But he does get the 57 in the end.
Connor,
So if Scutt does not find this, Warburton's in. But he does find it, and we're going all the way to a 7th leg in this one. It's very, very simple. It's a 1-leg shootout. Very old school, this. Whoever wins it is through.
7th and final leg, it's Mike to throw first. Game on.
Win this leg and you're in the semis. And you will have 2 more games tonight.
100.
One of those games could be to win the week. Lose, and it's darts down. This is something you
60.
can't practice at home on your own. Up against another player with something on the line. The person who loses this leg is not going to be in Champions Week. The only way they're going to be part of Champions Week is if they watch it on Sporty Stuff TV. He's back in the leg now.
31.
Only 9 adrift. Well done, Connor. But the first start of Mike Warburton in this leg,
140.
it's been brilliant. It has to be said. Gutsy, grinding player that he is, will never give
60.
up. And he's been given
Mike,
6 darts at this 161. He gets rid of the 1.
22.
Oh, that's not good. What an invitation this is for Connor. Is he up to it? Needs a treble.
93.
He gets one.
Mike, you require 139.
We go to the wire. Both players in the zone. A central 60 leaves 79. He's looking at treble 13. 66 remain.
83.
This will be some way to get your way through to the semi-finals.
157.
He's got a best finish this week of 170. He's going 57 first. He gets it. 60 for tops. Tops for a 157. And he's won it! What a shot from Connor Scutt! Oh, breathless stuff. And he breaks the heart of Mike Warburton with one of the best finishes of the week, arguably the best finish of the week. Maybe not as good as the 1-4-1 for the 9 from Richie Burnett, but wow. Did you see that coming? I'm not sure I did. He breaks Warburton's throw with that 157, an average of 89 dead, and Warburton will not be in Champions Week. Connor Scutt still has a chance of getting there. Let's all collect our breath and let's take a short break before we come back for Lee Cox against Richie Burnett to find out who else will make the semis. Hello darts fans and welcome back to our coverage of the finals here in week 2 of phase 4 for the online Darts Live League. We've all had to take a little bit of a break, let's face it. That was quite the end to match 5 and Mike Warburton is going to feel a little bit shell-shocked after that loss. He does not go through to the semis, but Scutt does. It's time to find out who else will go through. Neither of these guys are safe. And neither is Scott Williams, who has played his 2 games in Group 2. It all depends on the result of this match.
Okay, first leg it's Lee to throw first.
And even though
Game on.
Lee Cox won his first game by 4 legs to 2, he still needs legs.
100.
Let's go through them then. Or at least some of them. If Lee Cox wins this match,
45.
he will top the group on 4 points. And Scott Williams will be second, leaving Richie Burnett out in the cold.
140.
He starts in a very similar fashion to what he did in his first match, where he was the better player, even though his statistics do not state that.
100.
He was very good on his doubles. He gave himself plenty of chances. And the man with the Gordon Gekko haircut has got a very realistic opportunity of making the semis this evening. But Richie Burnett, he's behind the 8 ball. He needs to win. And he needs to win by a margin.
177.
That gets him back in the leg. Only 3 adrift now. Not for long.
136.
There's Lee Cox, who is exuding more confidence over the last 3 days than I've seen from him in all the time I've been watching him play.
83.
He might just be
You
the man
require 40.
to break the hearts of the Prince of Wales.
Game
Massive.
show on the first
As he
leg.
starts with a 13
Lee
darter.
Cox.
And that was a bit of a signal to everyone to say, I do not want to let Richie Burnett get anything from me tonight.
Second leg it's Richie to throw first. Game on. 60.
The scenario of Richie winning 4-0 is gone. But if he can win by 4 legs to 1, he would still top the group. And that would eliminate Lee Cox. If Richie wins by 4 legs to 2, Richie would still top the group and Lee would be second. That would eliminate Scott Williams. If Richie wins by 4 legs to 3,
100.
Lee would top the group and Richie would be second. It's all very complicated, but I've got all of the permutations in front of me, just in case we need them.
123.
That first start of Lee Cox tonight has been very useful.
76.
But if there's one thing that really good standard dart players hate, it's scoring 66 when the first start is in the 60. And just to compound the misery for Lee, he's left 299, which is a number that everybody hates. But at one point this
59.
week, we've seen a player actually
Richie
convert 299 in 6. It is 6 darts that Richie has for this number.
60.
Doesn't put a huge dent in that. Any win for Lee Cox in this match is bad news for Richie and good news for Scott
Richie
Williams.
requires 64.
That makes every chance like this vital. Double 16.
32.
chance,
Lee require
albeit a small one,
140.
for Cox to double his lead with this checkout. Best checkout of the week is 123.
100.
Finds the ton.
Richie require 32.
And this is getting edgy even at this early stage. Still double 16.
Game show on the
what
second
a pure
leg.
dart that is.
Richie Burnett.
Not one micronic flick on that previous flight. You see one there after dart 2, but dart 3 was pure as they come.
First. Game on.
He threw it as if there was nothing in the way, but I assure you there was.
93.
Keeps him in it.
$55.
Richie Burnett has got so many fans watching this tonight. They can't even conceive of the possibility that he's going to get eliminated.
125.
Especially after a week where he's played 5 consecutive days. He played during the day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. He didn't have a very good first day of the week. But he has got better as the week has gone on. But he's been living off those maximums, of which he's got plenty, and been living on the edge a lot of this week. Just about qualifying for Group B, a slightly easier group than Group C, and just getting himself into this tonight. Again, he's on the edge in his second group match, and again, he's performing.
100.
This would be a very valuable
86.
break of throw. And it's for an 11 darter.
78.
Offers the chance to Cox again.
Lee
In the last leg, it was 140 that he had. This time, it's something just a little bit more difficult. And he gets pretty much the same result.
81.
Instead of leaving tops this time, he leaves 60.
Richie require
And
8.
Burnett is up in the top right corner. At times this week, he has hit that double 4 in the bottom 20% of it, in all the key spots that he's needed. It really has been one of his best friends all week long.
Richie to throw first. Game on.
And you got the first glimpse right there of Burnett Cam. He is a player that wears
59.
a very large heart on a medium-sized sleeve. And that's what makes him the box office player that he is. 26 years on
100.
from winning his only world title. I've said it once and I will say it one more time for this week. That in 1995, as one of the best players in the world, and I believe the best player in the world at the time, if you'd have said to him then that he would only win one world title,
100.
he would have said, that can't possibly happen. Unfortunately, the truth is that he's only got that one world title.
60.
Imagine the scenes if he did get another.
$125.
Burnett's got to be careful from 263 here. Got to make sure that the 19s are used. From a tactics perspective, that was an error.
44.
Should have gone to the 19s on dart 2. And as a consequence of that poor first dart, Lee Cox is in the driving seat in leg 4 against the throw.
28.
He can't use it. Lee is not over the line yet, you know. I think he knows that he needs 2 legs in this match to ensure that he's in the semi-finals. That is the state of play. He needs 2 legs. He needs another 60. He needs a double 14.
120.
That was close.
Richie, you require 85.
If Burnett gets this, he will have the chance to eliminate Lee Cox. Double top. Oh, somehow it didn't go in. The more he looks at it,
28.
the more he can't believe it. Lee Cox wins his second leg of the contest, and by virtue of that hit on Mensah Sulevic's double, he is through to the semi-finals tonight. But who is going to join him?
Leg, it's Lee to throw first. Game on. $45.
It is a first time through to the semi-finals. In the last 3 phases, Lee Cox has worked very hard for this. And it is thoroughly deserved after winning Group C this week. And working hard to win his first game and get 2 legs here. He's guaranteed he is there.
100.
But he has a very big say on who joins him. Right now on his mind is just trying to win this game. And if he does that,
137.
the person that will join him is Scott Williams.
$100.
You sincerely hope that Richie Burnett is not dwelling on those 2 misses at tops for that 85 checkout to be 3-1 up.
59.
You just get the feeling that the misses may have dented his confidence just a little bit. And if Lee does hold here,
81.
as he shows more signs of frustration, more than we've seen from him this week. If he does win this leg on his throw, Burnett's going to need the last 2 legs of the contest to get through in second place on leg difference.
55 left. 139. Richie, require 152.
He's not going to take the 152. And Lee Cox on double 18
100. Lee required
can
36.
put Richie Burnett on the verge of elimination.
80.
Oh, he misses 3 darts and Richie Burnett gets a bit of a lifesaver.
Richie required 52.
This is for a break of throw. It's double 16. And it's there. And Richie Burnett, with his 3rd leg in this contest, now gets 2 opportunities to get through. He has been living on a knife edge all week. A 4-2 victory for Burnett would top the group.
134.
There are 2 scenarios. In fact, there are 3 scenarios left because Richie Burnett can win 4-2.
78.
Richie can win 4-3. And Lee Cox can still win 4-3. If Lee Cox wins, Richie's out. But if Richie gets 1 more leg, right here in this leg, he tops the group and will play Connor Scutt in the second semi-final.
43.
If Richie wins 4 legs to 3, it's Lee who tops the group, and he will play Connor Scutt and Richie would play Jared Cole. Burnett is doing good bits here. He has a lead of 194. And Lee Cox's performance level has really dipped until then. The Burnett fans are wearing out the edges of their seat, but they're getting more comfortable by the dart.
130.
And he'll be back for 56 to eliminate Scott Williams from Group 2, and indeed from this week. A man who was somewhat fortunate
70.
to be here because of the withdrawal of Justin
56.
Smith. He now watches on to see if Burnett can get rid of him for a second time this week. Double 10.
36.
He gives it the full grimace. He's had doubles missed against him to give him chances from his opponent.
Richie required 20.
Is he going to offer something back? He doesn't, and Richie Burnett does get the job done. But the good news for both of these players is that they are both through. And Lee Cox, in the end, with that 88.52 average, losing by 4 legs to 2, he did it by the finest possible margin. 4 legs to 2, and Richie Burnett tops the group in the end. And Lee Cox, he's the one who is going to play in the very next match. So he's got very little time to recover as he takes on a rampant Jared Cole in the next game, which is the first semi-final of the Saturday finals. We're going to take a bit of a break now, but we will be back very, very soon for that first semi-final between Cole and Cox. Hello again, darts fans, and welcome back to the Online Darts Live League. It is the early hours of Sunday, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart, as does everybody here, for your company at this late/early hour. We're live on Sporty Stuff TV, and it's semi-final time, as we're about to see Lee Cox for the second time in 2 games. And he's up against Jared Cole, who had no trouble whatsoever getting to this stage. He is showing just how strong he has been this week by winning Group A in the first 3 days of the week, getting his 2 days off, and then coming back on Saturday night and dispatching Mike Warburton by 4 legs to 1.
Game on.
And Connor Scutt by 4 legs to 0. Can he do the same to Lee Cox, who only just made it through Group 2 in the end by the skin of his teeth? I can actually reveal
84.
that when he came away from that 6th match of the night against Richie Burnett, losing by 4 legs to 2, he thought he was eliminated.
95.
He was despondent. He thought that was it. But he got the good news when he left the room that he was safe.
59.
Now, what's really interesting from that perspective is what has his body chemistry been going through the last 10 minutes? Because when you think you've
96.
failed at something and then you realise that you haven't, you're going to have to pick yourself up a bit. Now, he's going to have to do great things against Jared anyway, because Jared is playing so well and so consistently that maybe Lee Cox
81.
will have to have his best performance of the week to beat him. His personal best average this week is 92.49, whereas Cole has been performing at his optimum level this week, tonight as well. 20 in bull.
49. Lee require 88.
No such joy, and Lee Cox comes back for the 2 snowmen. He needs the bull.
63.
Narrowly misses out on the epicenter.
Average require 40.
And Cole comes to tops.
Game
Double
shot
10
on the
with
first leg.
authority.
Jared
He's
Cole.
finding not just the doubles with real speed, but every time he hits it, it just is hitting the middle. Great signs for a great young player.
Second leg, it's Lee to throw first. $140.
Whoever loses this match isn't out of Champions Week yet. Indeed, 3 of the 4 players left will grace Champions Week when that starts on September 13th. But the person who wins this game is guaranteed a spot. And they will go for the weekly title in the final, which will start maybe at around about 1:05 in the morning, in about an hour. First maximum of the match belongs to Jared Cole.
100.
He's looking very strong. Ominous for the rest of this field. He's just not missing.
87.
Lee Cox, to his credit, has kept pace.
$81.
Not the best leave,
109.
but not the worst. 89 turns into 32.
77.
That's a narrow miss on that ton plus checkout.
Lee require 99.
Tenner of 2. 2 leaves tops. 10 leaves double 16. That leaves double 18.
81.
You can see the pain on his face.
Required 32.
I don't have to describe it. You can see what it feels like.
Game
And
shown
he
the
takes
second leg.
double 16, does Jared Cole, and doubles the lead just looking like he's going to take every chance that comes his way. He missed one in the previous visit, but then he got a second chance.
Throw first. Game on.
He throws with pace, with poise, and with a smile most of the time, does Jared Cole. And miraculously, just looking through my statistics, this is the first meeting of Jared Cole and Lee Cox
97
at the Online Darts Live League this year. They've got so much experience between them, and this is the first time they've crossed paths. I'm amazed
43.
by that. Jared Cole has played 114 matches
99
at the Live League this year. Lee Cox has played 57. So 171 games played, and none of them involved the two of them at the hockey at the same time. Even when Jared's having a bad visit, he seems to be able to fix it right now. I don't think I've ever seen him this relaxed.
140.
He gives that
Jared
140 a bit of a micro nod, a show of respect. But double five. Takes a pause.
75.
Finds himself on a tricky looking 5.
93.
74 left with 2. Gets the treble 14.
61.
Misses the outer ring again.
Jared, you require 5.
When he gets a second chance, he doesn't usually miss.
Game
and
yet
again,
third leg.
He does it for 3-0. He's just got a streak going right now. He might not have been here for a couple of days after winning Group A on Wednesday. But he's picking up right where he left off. And he's now got so many opportunities to win this game and book his spot in Champions Week. He's got a lot of darts coming up as Jared Cole. He plays on the development tour in the PDC system because he's under the age of 25. He plays in Challenge Tour, which is, of course, taking place next week.
140.
Lee Cox will be there too. But of course, after that Challenge Tour, it looks like Jared Cole might have Champions Week to look forward to.
96.
Maybe Lee Cox will do as well. It is a case of
43.
Next week being one of the most jam-packed darts schedules that I think I've ever seen. You've got Live League Monday to Saturday.
101.
You've got Challenge Tour next week. You've got the Budapest event, the Hungarian Darts Trophy for all the pros. So much to dip your bread in.
138.
And Lee Cox dips his bread right there. And he's going to get 3 darts at tops.
99.
I wouldn't miss this, Lee.
40.
Because I don't think Jared's going to miss that 68. Double 10.
20.
And he does miss to give Jared Cole the chance to win 4-0.
Requires 68.
To get his second victory to 0 of the evening. Double 16.
52.
Just a bit too much sauce on that one, chef. Double 5.
15.
Oh, they were tired.
Jared, you require 16.
And Jared Cole does not miss double 8 much this week. And he doesn't miss it this time either. It's 4-0 to him.
Cole.
And his invitation to Champions Week has been accepted. It is a question now of whether he will be the champion of Week 2 we'll have to wait for his opportunity. And to find out who he will play, we will look at our next semi-final. But Lee Cox has another opportunity after a 91.62 losing average. It was, of course, 92.49, which equalises the best performance of Lee Cox this week. That was from Thursday morning when he beat Wes Newton by 4-0. But Lee Cox has to wait to see who he plays in the third place playoff. Jared Cole will wait to see who he plays in the final. So it is Connor Scutt versus Richie Burnett next in semi-final 2. That's coming after the break. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Online Darts Live League. We have one more spot in the final to book. Will it be Richie Burnett or will it be Connor Scutt? It's not a case of they are out after this when it comes to getting to Champions Week, but boy would they like to be through to the Champions Week after this one. Connor Scutt with that incredible 157 checkout against Mike Warburton to get into this semi-final. And Richie Burnett, of course, working very hard to top Group 2. After losing his first game of the night against Scott Williams by 4-3, he did enough to get through, and now it is a knockout scenario.
Game on.
He knows all about this. And because he won Group 2, that means he gets the darts here.
41.
Just to illustrate what Connor did in his second group game of the night to get to this semi-final.
77.
Made it 3-3. Everything was on the throw against the North Welshman. Warburton left 56.
180.
We don't have to wait long for our first 180 from the Prince of Wales. It comes in his second visit.
137.
Connor Scutt was left on 157 at 3-3 with his opponent on a very gettable 2-darter. Treble 19, treble 20 and double top
57.
got him here.
I called 137 for Connor's last score.
Just a bit of a score correction there before we progress. But one thing we've learned about this 25-year-old from Surrey is that he has got guts and he can perform under pressure.
30.
We've seen it from Burnett, not just once, not just twice, but many, many times over the years.
134.
He loves playing here. In phases 2 and 3 and 4,
60.
he has not failed
Richie require 89.
to make these Saturday finals. Double 16.
57.
He will be back.
65.
He's had mixed fortunes
Richie required
on this
32.
side of the board. That could be just a little too close.
Game
But
shown the
needing
first leg.
a little bit of
Richie
accuracy
Burnett.
there and a tiny little bit of celebratory fist pumping from Richie Burnett. We see just how much he wants to grace Champions Week.
Second leg, it's Connor to throw first. Game on.
He never hides his emotions. He was making the internet
82.
crackle yesterday with some of his gesticulating, which on one occasion he was pretty much mimicking an Elvis Stoico layback spin on the ice.
140.
I was trying to figure out when I was watching it what he was doing. He was leaning back, his back was arched. He looked a bit like Michel Kwan.
58.
The only thing he didn't do was spin. He made the finals of week 4 in phase 2.
180.
He came third. He then won Champions Week, picking up the big prize. He came third
57.
in week 4 of phase 3. He did not get to the final group of Champions Week in phase 3 to defend his title. But the one thing
145.
he's been doing more than anybody else is scaring 9-darters and scaring 10-darters this week.
84.
He's got this crazy
Richie
knack
required 36.
of bringing his best darts on Saturday night and into Sunday morning.
Game
And that's
shown
an
the
11
second
darter,
leg.
which
Richie
equalises the
Burnett.
best leg of the entire week by anyone. What a time to do it for a 2-0 lead against Connor Scutt.
Third leg, it's Richie to throw first. Game on.
It's no wonder he's got so many fans. And I'm sure deep down Connor Scutt is a Richie Burnett fan. But allow me to express the canyon between the averages right now of 35 points. In fact, it's just widened a little bit to 38.
40.
Connor averaging 72, Burnett 110. And Connor won't have much experience of playing at this time of night, but I assure you Richie Burnett has got lots of it from 2021.
83.
He'll be extremely darts fit for this.
$57.
So one person is in Champions Week from tonight. That's Jared Cole.
59.
That makes 4 players in total so far for Champions Week that starts on September 13th. The 3 players that made it last week, live on Sporty Stuff TV, of course.
45.
Robert Owen, who won week 1, closely followed by the runner-up Nick Fulwell. And Rob Collins, denying Jamie Kelling in the 3rd place playoff.
59.
Lee Cox awaits in that 3rd place playoff for tonight. And as this game is progressing, it's looking more likely he's going to be playing this guy.
135.
Even a 180 there.
Richie require 160.
And he wasn't getting to a finish. Burnett is doing nothing wrong right now.
100.
And this is where darts can be fun in important games. Your opponent is not having a ball.
96.
And you're picking off trebles.
Richie requires 60.
Like they're falling off a tree. Double top. Superb from Richie Burnett. That's his worst leg of this match, in fact. A 17 darter. But this semi-final is going a very, very similar way to that of the first one. It was won 4-0 by Jared Cole. And Burnett could do the same if he finds another break in this 4th leg.
45.
Scutt looking flat. He worked hard for that win over Warburton. An average of 89, which was a good 17 more than his first performance of the night.
100.
40% on the doubles. And in that match, he got his first successful double hit.
139.
He had 11 shots at a double against Jared Cole in match 3 of the night and didn't hit one of them. I don't know whether this is just the pessimistic side of my brain. But the last thing you want if you're Richie Burnett right now is to allow legs Connor's way.
59.
I'd be saying to myself in his position, stay in a good process right now and get rid of him now. Don't let him get back in the match. If he kicks, kick with him.
100.
And Richie's doing a really good job of constantly finding one big treble a visit. And that puts huge pressure on Scutt.
140.
Pressure which he's up to for this leg at least. Is it another maximum? You betcha it is. And it is his 3rd of the match.
180.
On the cusp of not getting to the final.
44.
But Burnett, for Champions Week,
40.
for the 3rd time in succession, has got tops and he is there. He will be back on September the 13th and he will be part of Group A. Brilliantly done from the man from South Wales. No doubt whatsoever when it came to Jared Cole and indeed Richie Burnett. 103.66 towards the end of the week. We have 2 matches remaining and that is the best performance of the entire week by anybody. Well done, Richie. Tremendous stuff from you. Congratulations. We're going to have a third place playoff between Connor Scutt and Lee Cox. We're going to take a few short moments before that starts, but stay with us when that starts in maybe around 10 minutes' time. Hello everyone and welcome to the Online Darts Live League third place playoff for this week's finals. It will be Connor Scutt against Lee Cox, both being annihilated in their semi-finals by 4-0 by Jared Cole and Richie Burnett respectively. But now it's time to see which one will go through to Champions Week. He hasn't had long to exercise his thoughts on that semi-final, Connor Scutt. A matter of 10 minutes. But Lee Cox has had a little bit longer. And maybe he just needed that.
Okay, first leg, it's Connor to throw
before
first.
This challenge.
Game on.
Only one of them can go through to that week of darts where all the money is on the line.
180.
Talk about a good start. That'll do, Connor. That'll do.
140.
I had a sneaky suspicion before this match began that it might be a bit arduous. It might be a little bit attritional, but maybe a tiny little shot of adrenaline.
93.
in this match might help them. Because, of course, when you play the semi-finals, you're thinking in the back of your mind, if I lose, I can still get through in the next game. But this is the last chance saloon. If you lose, you aren't coming back until possibly the next phase.
38.
Which would start in late September. That is, of course, dependent on invitations.
58.
And in some cases, whether you qualify. We do have 2 modern amateur darts qualifiers coming in on Monday to play in Group A, and that's Martin Hennihan and Tom Bourne.
82.
Add to that, another Hennihan in the shape of a Connor. Gary Stone, Jamie Caven, and Martin Adams will join us on Monday as well.
180.
And we've had 2 180s in this first leg of this contest.
180.
One from Scutt and one from Cox now. Double 16.
Game
Ooh,
shot.
Connor Scutt with a 15 dart hold.
Connor Scutt.
Wonderfully done from him. Really, really interesting stuff. It isn't a hold.
Second leg, it's Lee to throw first.
It is a hold.
Game on.
Sorry. My mistake. But no mistakes there from Connor.
83.
As soon as Lee hit that 180, he thought, I'm going to get a shot here. He was wrong. And the pattern tonight for Connor Scutt has been this. Poor game, good game, poor game. But what's coming next? There's a question mark against his name. But if he does
55.
the same, after what he did against Jared Cole in his first match, he had a better game
46.
after that against Mike Warburton. If Lee Cox goes out at this stage and doesn't go to Champions Week, he's going to be gutted. Because at times this week he has been very, very good indeed. Arguably the best that I've seen from him on a consistent basis.
140.
But Connor is going for this. I've mentioned that Richie Burnett has graced Champions Week in both Phase 2 and Phase 3.
60.
Lee Cox and, of course, the debutant from this week, Connor Scutt. Neither have made Champions Week before.
139.
It would be a first for them. In fact, only one person has made both Champions Weeks and subsequently made Champions Week finals on both occasions. And that is Winchester's Chaz Barstow.
61. Lee requires 78.
This is a big shot. Double 12. Double 6.
66.
That double 12 was so close. For a second,
15.
he'd have thought it was in. Double 6. Got to go high.
Game show on the second
Very, very
leg.
good indeed from Scutt.
Connor Scutt.
Could we possibly get another 4-0? Well, if you are feeling a little bit tired as a dart player at this time, you need to try and manufacture some adrenaline to keep yourself alert.
Game on.
Do what you need to do, Lee. Do what you need to do. But his biggest problem right now is that Connor Scutt is playing possibly his best game, not just of tonight,
95.
but of maybe the whole week.
45.
His personal best average this week is 93.99. You can just tell that there is more to give than that. It's only the halfway point for Scutt. But he's got the darts. He's got a break of throw in hand as well.
38.
Right now he's averaging in the mid-90s. He's actually hit a higher level this week than Lee has.
100.
By about 1.5%. And you might think that's not much, but in darts, it's a fair bit. Oh, that's really
68.
creative from Connor Scutt. I really like that. He really wanted to leave a finish. Utilising that 25 to its full potential. Going 18s first
100.
with two 25s to leave 170. That is someone who is really thinking clearly. I would have been more impressed if he'd have taken the 170 out for his second maximum finish of the week.
81. Lee require 148.
Lee Cox is in
34.
all sorts of bother here. He's got his back against the wall. But how much? 2 double tops.
49.
Can only leave
Lee
40.
114.
He needs something to get him going. This could be it. Double 18.
96.
Not quite.
Connor, you require 40. Game
Straight in there. He was sprinting towards that line. Did you see him going to that hockey? It's almost as if there was one movement of the way he was going to the hockey and then delivering the dart.
Game on.
There are some players who can't wait to get to that 7'9" and 1/4 inch line, but that was very fast, Connor. Not just that, but very accurate as well.
82.
At times this week, every darts fan tuning in has got their money's worth. Lots of 4-3 games, but tonight
41.
we're getting so many 4-0s. Both semis being 4-0. And Jared beating Connor by 4-0.
59.
Could be the 4th of the night right here.
$100.
Still working hard. The one thing we haven't seen this week, because we have seen most things, we've seen ton plus averages,
190.
ton plus checkouts. We've seen a 9 darter. We've seen multiple 170 checkouts. But the one thing we haven't seen this week, and I can attest to this, because I've been here since Monday morning, is someone winning from 3-0 down. It hasn't happened once.
97. Lee require 100.
A couple of people have got close. Connor Scutt knows a thing or two about a big ton plus checkout to finish a match.
42.
If he does it one more time,
144.
he's in Champions Week. He got the first equation
80.
right.
Lee require 78.
This has got to go. How much do you want it, Lee?
58.
That could be that.
He requires 64.
No hesitation once again. And his first match dart
48.
doesn't find the target.
Lee required 20. Game
Lee
shot
Cox finds the target for 19 darts.
Lee Cox.
I think that smile is something to do with the fact that he was beaten 4 legs to 0 in the semis. And of course, that's his first leg in this one after he was 3-0 down.
Fifth leg, it's Connor to throw first. Game on. $140.
Good to know that people who have been taking part
41.
with the Online Darts Live League this year are still tuning in. I've had a message from John O'Shea this evening, the man who's held on to the World
85.
Masters crown for nearly 2 years now. Tuning in, and I'm sure smiling
80.
and watching this action. The man they call the Joker. No No jokes here, though. As Connor Scutt
58.
is not that far away. He's only been playing for 3 days in this tournament. He's been given
140.
a really, really good dose of what this is all about. He failed to qualify for a previous phase
60.
through the MAD qualifiers, but by virtue of some of his performances elsewhere, he was given an invite, and he's backed it up
100.
with good performances.
Connie require 158.
Another
98.
60 points separate him
140.
from Champions Week. However, was that for 2 double tops?
100.
You feel it was.
Connie requires 60.
1 dart has been missed for Champions Week. Make that 2, but not a
Game
3rd,
shot and the match.
as Lee Cox will
Connor
not
Scutt.
get to Champions Week, and Connor Scutt will. Obvious disappointment for Lee Cox, who won Group C on Thursday and Friday, but he will have to wait for another opportunity, another day, as he is done 4 legs to 1 by Connor Scutt, an 84.85 average, and that is that for Game 9 of the evening. So Jared Cole, Richie Burnett, and Connor Scutt will go to Champions Week, starting on September 13th. But who is going to go there as the winner of Week 2? Let's find out, because it is Jared Cole and Burnett, and it is next after this. Hello everyone, we have one more match to go for Sunday morning. It is Richie Burnett versus Jared Cole, the Modern Amateur Darts World Champion. Richie Burnett has got a lot of fans watching on, hoping that he is going to be number one tonight. This week has been all about these two, you feel. There have been some great highlights, some great performances. Group B won by Justin Smith. He could not be here tonight. That's our loss.
Okay, first leg, it's Jared to throw first.
We hope to see Justin Smith again after he was unable to attend the finals tonight. But Jared Cole, the boss of Group A.
57.
And Richie Burnett, the ultimate survivor. He's going to be in Champions Week, everyone. Just another reason to tune in. But what kind of final are we going to have?
140.
Because so far tonight, Jared Cole has not been worried at all. He's only lost one leg and won 12.
100.
I think that's about as dominant as we've seen on any weekly finals night. If he goes on to win this one by 4 legs to 1 or 0, I'm not sure we'll ever see anything as dominant as that again.
100.
Jared Cole just strikes me as a young man who could throw like this all night, and indeed into tomorrow night. So much energy, so much positivity. And Burnett strikes me as the kind of player
100.
who could do the same, but indeed would make it look a little harder and maybe a tiny bit more entertaining. Not that Jared isn't
60.
entertaining, but you know what I'm talking about when it comes to Richie. He's a little bit more flamboyant. His night has consisted of a 4-3 defeat to Scott Williams. And then a 4-2 victory against Lee Cox, who has just been eliminated from the Champions Week qualifier.
85. Richie require 123.
And then it was a 4-0 drubbing over Connor Scutt in the semi-finals. But this is 16 ball coming in. It is the centre.
Game shot on the first leg.
The sat-nav works right on cue. Easy as ABC. 1, 2, 3.
Second
just
leg,
like that.
Richie to throw first.
Break off throw. And only the second leg that Jared has lost tonight. He has said on many occasions,
100.
when asked about his career, where does he get the motivation from to keep going? And it is a pure love for the game.
41.
And when he won Phase 2, I was in that room with one of our team, Phil Bars, just doing a bit of an interview with him. And I asked if he was to play in the World Seniors event next year.
45.
It's a scenario that won't come around, of course, but how much would he have loved to have had a rematch with Steve Beaton in a big world final? It is a game back from 1996 that I re-watched this week.
100.
Just reminding myself of how well Richie was playing at the time, and indeed how well Steve Beaton played in that tournament.
140.
Averaging over 95 for the entire event. And considering the equipment that was used, and of course the dartboards back then, because the segments did look a lot smaller. Just a remarkable effort from two of the most liked veterans out there. Burnett playing against a young whippersnapper here, 33 years his junior. He's seen them come and go.
Richie, you require
But I
156.
think even Richie Burnett will value the likes of Jared coming through. Richie was able to break the coal throw in leg 1.
55. Jared, you require 61.
It might be a break back. Double 9.
43.
Chance for Burnett.
Richie, you require 101.
Where does he go for the first dart? Treble 15. Double 18.
83.
That one was just a little bit weak. Oh, there it is.
Jared,
The
you
anguish.
require 18.
Still double 9.
Game shown the
Found
second
by
leg.
Jared Cole.
Jared
That's
Cole.
about as ragged a leg as he's had all week, really. But he still wins it. And this one is level after 2. 1 leg all. We're down to best of 5.
Third leg, it's Jared to throw first. Game on.
Just looking at the previous meetings. They played 2 games in late June.
54.
24th and 25th of June. First meeting won by Jared. Second meeting won by Richie Burnett. They were both heavy wins for the players. 4-0 for Jared and 4-1 for Jared, 4-0 for Richie. And then they've played 3 times this week. And because of the perfect record of Jared on Monday and Tuesday,
139.
don't need me to tell you how it went as far as the head-to-head is concerned earlier in the week. But Richie did get a valuable win against Jared the last time they played, which was on Wednesday, and he won by 4 legs to 1. In a strange twist of fate, the highest checkout in that last meeting on Wednesday
95.
was 123, which Richie Burnett has already hit. And guess who hit it in that match? Yes, it was the Prince of Wales.
$60.
The fact of the matter is that Richie Burnett constantly makes Champions Week. He wants to be the first player to have won 2 phases. He won phase 2. Jim Williams won phase 3. So 2021,
100.
the year of the Welsh.
Jared requires
continues.
74.
Double 16.
58.
Nothing Richie can do about Jared's position right now, apart from pressurise. A week ago, another Welshman won the final in Robert Owen.
100. Jared requires 60.
No matter where you look in 2021, it's all about the Welsh.
Game shown the
And
third
every
leg.
time we look at double
Jared
8
Cole.
for Jared Cole, it seems like he's coming to the hockey and finding it with commitment and ease. Fantastic stuff from him
Fourth
on
leg,
the
it's
16th
Richie to
segment.
throw first. Game on.
You just wonder if he knows how good he's been on double 8 this week. There's no better feeling in the game that when you're playing to a certain
100.
level of confidence and you know for a fact that you've got a sighter on a certain double, that you know you're going to hit it.
100.
That treble 20 bed tonight has been completely obliterated. There's more evidence of it.
180.
The best 180 hitter of the week. He's well over 50 now for 180s over the last 6 days.
81.
And technically, he's played every day this week because he started on Monday morning. He played Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday night and Sunday morning. He's the darting equivalent
120.
of a Craig David song. He's doing everything but chilling on Sunday because
56.
he still has a job to do.
Richie require 101.
Got to draw level. Doesn't want to let Jared Cole get to 3-1 somehow from this position.
69.
Because that would really shatter the confidence of Richie. That would only happen if Richie has a stack of darts at 32 and misses them all.
Richie required 32.
Hand in the quiver and take aim. From the right-hand side. Oh, one of the darts of the week.
Richie
right
Burnett.
there, we've seen some really good use of the horizontal mark on the carpet. He was a good inch back from the hockey line there. And I reckon that one was from about 8 feet and an inch.
Game on.
Just goes to show that Richie Burnett is not just good from the centre of the hockey, but when they traverse left and right, we have seen examples of brilliance this week from the likes of Burnett, from Cole, who had a rather ridiculous double 8 on Monday. And for me, the dart of the week from Scott Marsh, which was yesterday. That camera that you see just there, which is from the side of the player looking at the board.
60.
That one there. We saw Scott Marsh almost shoulder to the lens, and we saw the flight of the dart going into the double 10. It was one of the most memorable shots I've seen in this room all year. He must have thrown it from nearly 8.5 feet.
100.
Jared really does not want to lose tonight at all.
55.
Richie's already tasted defeat. But I'll tell you what, coming into this match, Jared Cole had won 15 matches out of 18 this week for a win percentage of 83% for the week. 83%. But if he gets one more victory, that goes up to 84. I know that's not a lot.
40.
But as far as weekly win percentages go, I'm not sure we've had better than that.
100.
Maybe Martin Thomas from a few weeks ago, where he picked up 26 points in Group A. Maybe his percentage was just as high as that.
58. Jared, you require 56.
16 for tops. Double 10.
36.
He has to wait for a potential 3-2 lead. When Martin Thomas had that week,
44.
where he picked up 26 points,
Jared, you required 20.
He ended up finishing third in the entire thing.
Game show on the
and that is the third leg of success for Jared Cole. He is now within one leg, and he will have 2 opportunities to be this week's champion. Jared, 1 to go.
Richie to throw first. Game on.
But for Burnett fans who crave success for him, will be hoping that a brace of legs are coming his way.
140. 58.
I think this one's going to go all the way, you know. It's just Burnett keeping us on the edge of our seats. That's what it is. He just can't help it. If there is, and we have talked about this before,
180.
as Jared gets his first 180 of the final, if there is one person, one player that deserves to have a movie done about his life,
98.
For me, it's Richie Burnett. Nobody is more befitting a movie than him. Not even Taylor.
99.
That's up for debate. So if anybody knows any movie producers out there, Looking to do a movie for a streaming site or something like that. Do yourself a favour and cast Risa Fans
131.
as Richie Burnett.
Jared, you require 164.
This is for the win.
104.
Sensible. Great lead from Jared.
Richie required 32.
But here we go. Double 8. Double 4. Oh, it's the
Game
bottom
shows
portion
six
again.
Richie
How many
Burnett.
times this week have we seen it? And he dances towards the board. Look at this double 4. Right in the bottom corner. That's easily the 5th time this week that he's needed a double 4 and he's hit it just about enough. One more leg for the week and we get a YMCA from Richie Burnett in the background.
59.
As if he hasn't provided enough entertainment this week. He does a little bit of Richie Burnett calisthenics in the background.
93.
He doesn't even know how entertaining he is. And I don't think that Richie
122
is aware of just how many times Jared Cole has won in a 7th deciding leg this week. On the first 2 days
57.
of our entire week, he was involved in 7 matches that went 4-3, Jared Cole. He won them all.
140.
Ultimately, he didn't win every 4-3 that he was involved in, because the first one he was embroiled in on Wednesday, he lost to Nathan Gervin.
140.
But he has a superb shout of winning this one. 140 is the ideal score.
45.
And that, unfortunately, is nowhere near it. 171 is the ideal score here.
60.
And Richie comes up dry.
Jared, you require 135.
This would be some way to finish the week. 85.
83.
Leaves 52.
Richie require 151.
We've had a 157 to finish a match tonight. Can we get something similar? Your answer is no. So it's in the hands of Jared Cole
91.
to
Jared
progress
require
from this
52.
week as the number 1. Double 16. It has to be.
44.
If it was going to be any double, it was going to be double 8. And that's probably
Richie,
the worst start he's
require
thrown at it all
60.
week. But if you are a Richie Burnett fan and you want him to be the number 1, watch out because it's possible. No longer. Even Jared Cole can crack a smile.
28.
They've both had a chance to win the week.
Jared, you require 8.
And Jared's got to focus here. 3 darts at double 4. He only needs the 1, and Jared Cole is the man for week 2. Well done to JC. He has been the most consistent player of the entire week, and he ends in the number 1 position with Richie Burnett close behind him. It was a very entertaining final for 2 averages in the mid-80s, but ultimately we have got our 3 players from week 2 into Champions Week. Connor Scutt takes 3rd position. Richie Burnett, a very, very good silver medal, but the gold medal for this week goes to Jared Cole. Well done to everybody who took part this week, and thank you to everybody who was tuned in tonight on Sporty Stuff TV, and indeed internationally via the Online Darts YouTube channel. I've been Paul the Asset Nicholson. I am going to go home now and get some well-deserved rest. I'm sure you guys want to go to bed as well, but thank you for your company. We will see you on Monday for week 3. This is the Asset signing out for now. Toodaloo.